Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to speak at this important event. To reach our climate targets, we are dependent on decarbonizing the transport sector. Norway has a political goal to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 55% by 2030. This will contribute to our part of the Paris Agreement and to our own political platform. The transport sector contributes with a large amount of emissions. We have several examples that illustrate that a green transition is possible and can be achieved with right incentives. Norway has the world's fastest transition to zero-emission road transport. For several years, the passenger cars with the highest sales in Norway have been various battery electric cars models. In 2024, almost 90% of new passenger cars sold were fully battery electric, and more than 28% of the passenger car fleet is now fully electric. Incentives work. We introduced a broad package of incentives for EVs in the early 90s, both tax and user incentives. This was to compensate for immature technology. It is especially the tax benefits that has driven the sales. Petrol and diesel cars have had relatively high level of tax, both related to purchase and use, which also favors the use of electric vehicles. The government agency Enova grants public investment support to the development and market introduction of new zero-emission technology. Enova also grants investment support for fast charging and hydrogen stations in the early phase before market-based solutions are in place. The overall ambition is to drive the development towards competitivity without government support. EVs have had exemptions from value-added tax, although VAT has now been introduced for the part of the purchase price that exceeds 500,000 Norwegian kroner. Electric cars have also had exemptions from registration tax and re-registration tax. Today, EVs have reduced toll roads. In addition, local authorities can give EVs access to bus lanes as well as reduced prices for parking. The success with introducing EVs have not come for free. Expected cost for the government this year, due to exemption of taxes, VAT, fees on toll roads and ferries, is estimated to nearly 50 billion Norwegian kroner. In most segments, the technology of EVs are now competitive. In addition, they are cheaper to use. The incentives they have been quite predictable for a long time, but since the cost for the incentives for electric cars in Norway are high, everyone agrees that gradually these incentives will have to change. As battery costs continue to fall and the number of available models increase, this is now the case, even without incentives. Now, from a Norwegian government perspective, we turn our focus from passenger cars towards heavy-duty vehicles, maritime transport and machinery, and how we can speed up the transition into zero-emission technology. Incentives for electromobility has been on the agenda for decades. Our incentives have paid off, and now we are looking into a future where some of the incentives are no longer necessary. For that to happen in the whole transport sector, we need the technology to continue to develop. Thank you for listening. I wish you the best for the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.